Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is part 5. Yay! It's part 5 of our Learn JavaScript video. We're going to create a game and learn JavaScript and fun times. So the other parts are linked down in the description below. Also, the video for the setup is linked down in the description below. The video is very short. It's about setting up Visual Studio Code and setting up the extension that I'm using. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. All of the other parts is also down in the description below, and also the code is down in the description below. So this being said, if you like this kind of content, then please subscribe to my channel and share the videos. Sharing means caring with other people. So this being said, let's jump into the finished project and let's take a look at what we're going to do today. So we are in our finished project, and let me actually hit a refresh. Let me hit a refresh. So this is our start game. We're starting the game and we're going down to player 1, player 2, and if player 1 attacks, as we know, until now we dealt damage, but as I said, the damage functionality is the attack minus the defense. Attack is something randomly generated, and defense and the amount of defense is also something randomly generated, and the damage is the defense minus the attack is equal to the damage. So at the end, the life that is going to be taken, the amount of life, is equal to the attack minus the defense. So, but also each time we defend, that amount of defense is going to be subtracted from our maximum defense. Okay, so I'm going to attack with player 1, player 2. Player 2 has 100 life and 20 armor. So after the attack, let's take a look in our console and also up here. So we're left with 99 life and 18 armor. So our attack was 3, the defense was 2, and the resulting damage is then 1. As you can see, 99 life left because 2 minus 3, or it's actually we're using Math.floor, and we're using a few functionalities within here using the math object in order to get a negative number, because we're subtracting from 2, 3. Okay, so let's attack player 1 now, who also has 100 life and 20 armor. Let's see what happens. Okay, we generated, hey, exactly almost the same thing. No, not the same thing, but we generated 3 attack, 2 armor, and that means we gave 2 damage. So that's why player 2 is now left, or player 1 is now left with 98 life, 19 armor, and well, 0 mana. We didn't generate any mana. So this is what we're going to handle in this video. So let's get started. Alright guys, so let's start by creating up at player 1. So we're going to still remain in the defense functionality. So attack player 1, we have an event listener, and when we click on the attack, actually refresh this page, when we're clicking on the attack, a damage is dealt. So let's go. Hey, I just realized that if I attack either player 1 or player 2, damage is displayed at player 2. So let's take care of this. This was 100% something simple that I missed. Oh yeah, there it is. Go to player 2 attacks. I'm going to change all of them to 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So when player 2 attacks, yeah, on player 1 it's displayed. Yo, perfect. Attack, player 2 random, player 1 dot life, because it's taking from its life. Yeah. So we now need to create another function, and this function will be down in our utility functions, and will be a random damage buff. So let me go down in our utility functions. Above our random attack function, we'll have now a defense function. defense function. And this is actually almost the same. It is the same as the tag function. We're going to take the function, go down here, paste it in, change its name to random defense, but buff, because this is not the defense that we're generating. The defense button will generate then a defense for us, but it's actually a buff that is the one that is between the attack and the damage dealt. So let's name this defense buff. Okay, now we're going to use Math.floor again and Math.random, but this time we want to generate something between 2 and 1. Okay, so we got a functionality. Let's copy the function, or go up here and declare it again. And let's go in our attack functionality, and this is actually above, so right after our attack. So let's go in here and type in defense. Okay, now this defense is going to be also conditioned, because I don't want any defense to be generated if the player reaches, let me just go in here, armor 0. So as you saw in our previous, in our finished project, when the player reaches 0 armor, he will no longer be able to defend. And that means he will take the full damage of the attack. The attack was always attack minus generated buff, defense, was the damage. Okay, but as soon as we are depleted of our armor, we have no more armor, we don't want any buff to be generated. So this is going to be done by using a condition. We're going to use a if statement, and if, now let's think about it, is the player that we're attacking, so player 2, we're in player 1 attack, if the player 2 if the player 2 has the defense, so we're using the object, okay, player 2's, let's console log, should I console log it? Let me console log it out here. Let's go back in here and, hey, let me actually take this. Let's copy this and console log player, player 1's armor, defense. Sorry, we have this defense right here. So this defense, going to comment it back in, and I'm going to just comment out this one, so it wouldn't interfere with our code. So we just console logged and we have 20, okay? Let's see, we have 20 up here. Now, let me also show you if I console log mana, then, so from the object is 0. So we can use any value from our object. Now let's go back in here. So let me comment first of all this back out. And let's go back into the attack of the player 1. Let's comment it back in. So if the defense of the player 2 is greater than 0, then I'm going to now create a local variable, so random, actually not a local variable, but I'm going to use the random defense is equal to the function from our utility functions of random defense buff. So this just means that, let's go up in our player 1. There we go, paste it in. So this means that it is going to be generated. Now, else, so if it's not above 0, and also equal to 0, so greater or equal to 0, else the random defense is equal to 0. So let's just console log random defense, this one right here, and let's see if we generate something when we go in here and when we attack with player 1. So let's take a look in our console. Okay, so the function is working. It is oh wait, I just console log, so I just did the function, but I need to, now it should work. So 1, okay? So we generated number 1. Now I need to, if I attack with player 2, nothing will generate because this functionality is only in player 1's attack. So if I click on it again, now I generated 2. Okay, so let's try this again. I generated 1. Okay. So this is done. We know that we can generate now a random damage, a random defense buff. I need to assign it somewhere. So I could, let's go down here. And now I'm going to take the random attack minus the random defense that we generate. Now I need to leave this in a variable, because if I would use the function here, then it would generate a different number for even if it is checked and when it's called. So it's not the same number then. So we need to assign it to a variable to be, actually to a constant, to be constantly the same generated value. And that's why I assigned the function to a variable here. Now let's try this out. So attack with the player 1, and this should now be different. Okay, we had 3 damage. Actually, let me also console log this attack. Console log our attack. Now we need something different. We need to see our attack. So I'm going to console log our attack down here. And I also want to see the randomly generated defense. So let's console log both of them. So console log, console log our random defense. So let's see. Do we see our attack? We don't see our attack. So let's also console log random attack. So we need 3 things. We need the random attacks. We should see 5, 2, and 3. Okay, so we generated 5 attack. We got 2 armor. That is equal to 3 damage. And we see up here 3 damage. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I also want to wrap this, actually this one, into math.absolute. So math object, math, and dot absolute. This will just give me an absolute number, so it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, it's always be a positive number. Now so close out the parentheses, and there we go. Okay, so I could actually comment this out. I'm going to delete them, but you should leave them in as comments, okay? So you see the difference. Now the next thing that we need to do is also subtract the amount of defense generated from our armor. And we're going to take now our player stats, above our player stats, we're going to take our player 2 dot defense, and we're going to subtract from the defense the player 2's defense. So players 2 defense. Wait a second. I don't need body. I just need the player 2 object. Then it's defense from it. And then I'm going to take the player 2 initial defense. And I'm going to subtract the randomly generated defense. Okay, so let's try this. If I attack with player 1, okay, but it's not displaying here. So now we need to also display our new stat. And you know that we created this modify stats function. Now let's go down in our modify stats function. So we're going to go down here. And this is pretty simple. We're going to take this. So player stats child node. go down here and we're going to select the third one because we know that the second one is a text. So the third one, and we're going to modify the player's defense. Okay, and this is actually be armor. Now let's hit save, start the game, go down here, attack, and as you can see, we have -1 here and -1 here. Okay. Now next thing we want to do is also display our generated random defense. So let's go up in our functionality, in our attack damage, in our player's attack, and let's display now the armor. So I'm going to go on here and type in a comment of display armor. Actually not armor, but generated defense. Okay, so we're going to take the display armor from the player 2. Hey, didn't I create this? Oh, wait just a second. So we have player 1, we have our damage. Whoa, okay, we need to create it. So we need to create, we're going to copy the damage. I'm going to change this to RM, and we're going to go in here, grab onto the class of armor. So we have this for player 1. Now I'm going to copy it, go down into player 2. It should be down here. Copy it in, and going to modify this to a 2, and also the container to a 2. So when we're attacking up here, okay, so we have a constant, now it's working. We're going to take the inner HTML. It's actually the same thing that we did up here, but instead of having it with a negative sign, so negative up here, we're going to, actually I could just copy this. So let me just take all of this, and I'm going to go through it. So positive sign, and we need the random defense that we generate. So exactly what we generate is going to also be displayed. Then this will be armor color. So this is the color that we created up here in our color variables. Okay, the armor color. And then end, and it will be displayed as block. And now because we're displaying it as block, we also need to hide it. So let's go reset display intakes. Now here, we're going to go into our function. If I double click on it, it should highlight up. There we go. There's a function now. There's a reset time. Oh, I take the wrong one. Concentrate, modify player stats. And reset display intakes. Actually, it is in the reset display intakes. Yeah, it's in the reset display intakes. So let's go down in our functionalities, in our utility functions, and reset player intakes. And now we're just going to take this, reset display of the damage, copy it, and we're going to reset display of the armor or the defense buff. And within here, we'll have another argument of armor. So display armor that we're also going to put in our functionality. So the function will await now a second argument. Not only that it awaits a damage to be inserted, but it also needs a armor now. And we just need to take that armor that we're inserting it in here, take its style, display it as none. So we need to go up in our attack damage, in our attack functionality again, up here, and we're going to pass in now the second argument, which is the player 2's armor. So display arm of the player 2. Okay, so let's try this out. Now, theoretically, following things should happen. I'll click on an attack from player 1. The button should be disabled because we did it until now. It will display a attack amount with a minus sign, a generated defense with no positive, but if it's not minus, then it's positive, and both life and armor would be subtracted from the amount of damage generated from the life and from the amount of armor buff generated. So let's click on it and see what happens. Hey, we got 3, 2, and yay! We got 2 subtracted, and because the attack was 3 and the armor was 2, we have 1 damage. So this is working. Oh, nice. So all we need to do now is copy this action that we did on player 1 into player 2. So what did we do until now? We created the defense, and we also generated the display of the defense. So I'm going to copy this first of all. Go into player 2 up here. Copy this one in, and this should be if player 1 defense is greater or equal to 0, then player 1's, I'm going to change this random defense and reset display. Okay, in here we will now take the armor of the player 1 So let's try this one. No, wait, we still need to copy a few things. We also need to display attack to copy in these 3. So let's take them from player 1, go into player 2's attack, and let's see. So we're displaying, we're attacking. Just going to copy it in up here, and I need to delete a few of them. So player 2, and we're going to use this function or this functionality to pass it in here. Then we have our life, and then okay, we need our defense from player 1 and and that's it. I can now take everything that we have here and delete it. So let's hit save and let's try it out. So player 1 is working. Now let's try player 2, and player 2 is also working, and also the amount is generated. Hey, we are missing the armor, so we did something wrong. So first of all, there should be 2. No, there should be 1. Oh, I seem to forgot to replace the display random armor, not damage. And this means that I also forgot to replace it in player 1. Yep, there it is. Yeah, this is happening when you just copying things. Okay, so now this should work. Let's see, attack, red, white, and it disappears, and then we attack again and it disappears, and we attack, it disappears. Okay, so this is working. And I think this is also a perfect moment to stop the video and continue on next time. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike button. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell in order to get notified when I post new videos like this. With this being said, also please share the video if you have any friends that are interested in learning JavaScript, and see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.